Oh my god, bro, I remember it. This kid was so annoying. Like this mogul right here, I think. He was like the most annoying player because he kept pushing me. I didn't own any of these builds. I just killed a player. And he just kept pushing me. It was so dumb. And like at this point I was like, oh, like my cash cup's actually done. Like I'm actually dead. I come up here and I should have. Wait, no way. Wait, that's a pro player. That's Jenkins. He qualified for World Cup. Oh my god. Guys, I'm telling you guys, I played out of my mind this past Cash Cup. Hey guys, what's up? Jedi here. Now I played the solo Cash Cup this past weekend and placed in the top 100. So, for today's video, I'm gonna VOD review my games and explain my thought process, sort of like an inside the mind type of thing. Alright, so solo Cash Cup. Right there, boys, 124 points. Alright, let's see. Let's see if I can find myself. I should be. I didn't place that high. This is kind of like clickbait, but I was in the top 100. Oh, leaderboard's gonna reset, bro. Like that's so annoying. But I should be right under. Yeah, there I am. So I did get 99th in the solo cash cup. That's me right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at my match history. All right, so starting right off, you can see I got a 5-kill win. Some, not so great games. 3-kill 10th. 3 more not so great games. Then I clutched up really hard towards the end here. All right, so let's jump into like the first topic I wanted to discuss today, which is time management. So you can see here that I have these games where I get 40th, 27th, 28th, 35th, and these are actually the worst games of a tournament. I know I get, maybe more points getting 27th or 28th than I do in 71st. But the point is, these games are really bad because they take up a lot of time. For example, if you consider this game, second game where I got 40th, I spent 18 minutes in this game and I got like 3 or 4 points. Like that's terrible time management and that's terrible point gain per time. All right, now let's talk about the second thing before we actually jump in and fully VOD some gameplay here, which is your first sort of few games where you start out your cash cup. So the start of the cash cup is actually really underrated and pros don't really talk about it because all the pros get like high kill wins. Even like pros from other regions like Wolfie's Epic Whale, people who are playing NA East were getting a lot of high kill games their first games, so we don't really talk about the start. But average players like me and you, we have to get really good first games because it pays off a lot. This first game right here, I got a 5-kill win. Last week I actually got a 4-kill win as well. It's always, the start's super important. And that's 35 points. That's over 25% of the total points I ended up getting. So already from my first game, I already have like a quarter of the points I'm gonna need. And that's really huge because the first lobby or so is actually a lot easier than the later ones. Sometimes it might be more stacked, but the players really aren't as good. Alright, so at this point, I just want to take some time to talk about my rotations as we're getting into gameplay VOD stuff here. So this is my last game. I need to clutch up and it's kind of stacked, right? 63 people, second circle. And that's not amazing, but it's still a pretty hard game. Now, at this point, I've basically gotten myself in a center zone. Now, map and replays is broken, so I can't actually pull it up for you guys. But you can kind of tell from the bottom right there that I am in center zone. I need wood here, so I'm just farming. But I identified something that's super important here. So, when I was center zone, that's actually not a bad place to be in second circle, for surge, for everything. But I recognized that it was the lowest point in the circle, so I was at like the very bottom layer, which is not always great. And if zone pulls up the mountain, like there are a lot of mountains around me. Obviously, if you know this beach, if you've been here before in the game, you'll know this. But there are a lot of mountains and like cliffs around me. And if zone pulls up one of them, I'm going to have a really hard time getting up. And I'm going to be, having to fight with a lot of players to get up those layers. And so instead of staying in the middle, I identified 2 things, which luckily for me actually coincide. So first thing is Deadside, and the second thing is elevation. Now, obviously, elevation can be found all around me, literally just all across the edge is mountain. But Deadside here is actually down at like the grotto area. So obviously you can kind of tell from the bottom right there, just where a lot of the players are, kind of in that, that mountain thing in the top left. But the reason, obviously in game, you can't see these arrows. So the reason I was able to identify where Deadside was in this game is because I think about where players are coming from. If you think about that, all the players coming from, let's say, lazy, craggy, all these like contested POIs, literally just most of the map will be in that left side of zone, whereas the bottom right there are only going to be people coming from caddy, retail, and maybe some smart like dead side rotators. The way I think about it is if I can get myself on, pretty significant elevation, obviously I'm not super high up, but I'm on pretty good elevation here, and I'm on dead side, I'm not going to have too much trouble looking for surge either because I can always look down at the beach there, which is pretty good. and I'm not going to be like around a lot of people, so I won't be forced into box fights and risk losing my life. All right, I'm gonna talk to my thought process of getting to half zone as well. So half pulls here, I don't get it, but it's a pretty good rotate, right? I'm not in congestion. You can see a lot of the congestion, like I was talking about there, in the left and upper left of the map. Now I see that player rotating. I'm just checking around here. I see this guy rotate as well. So now I know that there's really no like real players on my layer in my way, and I can safely rotate this. So I get ahead a little bit, make a quick wood boxing. There's actually a wall there, it just didn't render. I decided to pop my slurfish just so I don't get, risk getting cracked by a couple AR shots. And then I start rotating, and this is really free, as you can tell. There's literally just nobody in my way. I even stopped in front of that tree a little bit. But the reason this rotate was so easy for me is because I put myself on a really good side of zone and I didn't have to get through all that congestion. We're going to jump back into my first game because I like to do things backwards and strangely on this channel. So I just kind of want to walk you guys through the process of the end game because we've kind of talked about mid game positioning a little bit. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a second here as well. But I just want to kind of get into the end game stuff here. So I'm actually going to bring back the controls just so we can see the map. And right here, you can see that zone does pull off the map. And you would think that as a Deadside rotating player, I wouldn't stay on this mountain because you can see that there's so many people here. And I knew, right? Even before zone was pulling in, when this circle like showed up, when fourth showed up and it was new, I knew that this area would be filled with players. But the reason I stayed up here is because there is elevation. And like I said before, going down a mountain is much easier than going up. And so I decided to take a chance and take a gamble, because if I went down to like Deadside, for example, which is where zone ended up pulling, but if I went to Deadside and half zone pulled back up the mountain, I'd get lobbied by like 10 different players. I'd have to go up a mountain and I'd basically be dead. So that's why I stayed up here. And that's just, just a little bit of thought process stuff for you guys there. First of all, I want to get ahead on moving zone. You always want to get ahead. And if you don't get zone, which like I get a really good zone here, but I'm not exactly at zone yet. So some of you might have just sat in this box, but I was like, I need to get ahead. So I do that. I get ahead. I'm just building with wood here because I want to save my hard mats, and I'm staying on what I would consider a pretty good layer. And like I talked about before as well, you want to look ahead. And I know zone, like, yeah, obviously pulls down a little bit, but then it also pulls back up like a layer or two. So you just want to, I wanted to stay on this layer, on this elevation, and then I get to the side of zone here, so I don't have to build on both sides. And I decide here that if I get on the left side of zone and stick to the edge of zone, I can be Deadside, and I won't have to protect myself that much, and nobody's going to be looking at me. And you can see that that pays off really well. There's literally just one player on my right, and that's it. I'm really like alone in this area. A flow shot there, nothing happens. Nothing comes out of it. That's all good. And like basically here, I'm like basically in zone. I can just sit here. I have like 350 mats, like 300 hard mats. So I'm like, yeah, I can make it to second moving if it pulls nicely, which it does. But I am gonna need a refresh. And so I'm like, all right, I have to get out of here. And now this kid just gets in my box, which is really weird. But I ended up killing him. Just staying calm there, taking my shots. And at this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, I have 40 HP, right? I need to kill somebody here just for HP. So I ended up killing him. Replays lag there, but I did pump him. I scuffed that red flip a little bit, so I do get tagged quite a lot. But now the player's left, I'm just gonna play this low ground layer, get ahead on the right side, because then I only have to watch one of my sides again, like the other time when I was on the left. I only have to watch my right, for example. And I'm out of mats now, so I'm just using natural cover. Obviously, I think I did farm back enough mats to have like a few builds, but I wasn't sure I'd even need them. So I come out here, I know there's a player there, so I just have my pump ready. Go for a fat shot there. Take him out. Now it's a 1v1. And I actually messed this up really bad because I thought there was a break in the box. That's why I went back in. But turns out I already picked it up, which is just bad awareness for me. But it's all good. We win the game. GG's. Alright, just one last thing here is I want to talk about when you want to choose to take fights and how you should approach them. So I can't pull up the map here, but this is only first circle. Zone pulls pretty far, and it's really unstacked. There are only 53 people left. First zone has just started moving. Like, it's gonna be a really easy game to farm placement out of. And so my goal here was to just play out this game as much as I can, farm as many points as I can. And I'm not a player who likes to take fights, so I like to play just sort of passive and get my kills in game, because I think that pays off more, especially with this format, which it does, by the way. And so I don't really want to take fight here. I see this player up ahead. He knows I'm here.
and I'm 200 HP, right? So I'm like, okay, like he's probably moving on. And I think he moved on, so I'm just chilling here. But then he's actually camping on this mountain. I don't know how I don't see him there. And he hits me for a lot. And right here, before I would used to think like, oh shoot, like I have to try and run from this player. I'm low, I'm just gonna heal and try and disengage. But at this point, there's no way he's gonna let me get away. First of all, this is something like you'd have to understand is that this guy is not gonna let me get away. He hit me for 93. He's gonna push and he's gonna try and kill me, get the refresh, get the kill, get the points, right? And so at this point, I have to flip my mindset and say, I'm gonna fight this guy. I'm gonna commit to fighting him, and that's gonna make me fight better because now I'm not trying to think about running. Right, so as this guy comes down, I'm playing it slow because I do need to heal, and I try to get these minis off. I get one off, and I'm just using that trick again with the ramp behind my back to expand out. I don't edit on him here because he has a pump ready. You know, I don't want to risk that, so I pop my second mini, go for a little shot there. He makes a weird edit, and luckily I have a shield fish. So now that I'm 200 HP, I know that I can take this fight again, and I can, you know, stop playing really like slow and stuff. So he gets impatient, goes for a boxer, right? So, and now I'm like, okay, I hit him for 116, I can kill this guy. So he goes up, and look at my ping. I take his ball first try, bam, easy kill. But the reason the only reason I killed him is because I recognized at the right time that this is not a fight I can run from, and this is a fight I'm gonna have to take. And also partially I was like pissed at the guy too. But I was like, yeah, this is a fight I have to take, so I'm gonna commit to it, and I'm gonna play it as well as I can. And if I lose a fight, that's fine, but at least I committed to it, and I didn't like sort of half-ass the fight and try and run and fight at the same time. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for my VOD review of my own top 100 placement. We go again next week, so hopefully if I place again, I'll do another video like this probably, if you guys like this one. This is a little bit different. Obviously, I didn't script anything. I just kind of talked about my thought process as I went through the game, so let me know if you guys like it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. As always, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to use code JEDI2X in the Fortnite item shop to support me. Peace.